none. All right.
Perfect.
Good to go, sir.
We'll call this to order. You'll note the roll, Neil.
Yep, done.
Um, is there a motion to approve the minutes of July 10th, 2025 from commission members?
Motion to approve? Oh,
I'll second.
Perfect. Any corrections, additions, changes? Hearing, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. All right. Aside from all the applicants, is there anyone that is here for a public appearance? I don't see any, but
Nope, neither.
want to give that space in case.
Yep.
All right, statement of any potential conflict of interest from commission members. I'll say I am on the board of Friends of San Damiano, so I'll recuse myself from that one.
And I'll recuse myself from Aldo Leopold application.
Thanks, Betsy. Got it.
So hopefully Aaron joins us, so then we can get those taken care of.
Just
We
text
should be
Aaron.
okay.
Aaron's saying he's having some trouble signing in.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
And I think we're okay. As long as we've got three, we're good, I think so.
All right. Okay, perfect. I'll let somebody else do the math. New business, consideration of possible action on standard tourism grant contract for the 2026 grant recipients.
I did email this out this morning, Andy. I said, and I don't know if we necessarily need specific action on this, but just wanted to make sure commissioners had a chance to review it. I guess if they have any questions, obviously these technically get approved on a case-by-case basis with each individual applicant, but at least wanted to share kind of the default contract document with everyone this year. We did remove some of the redundancy in the expenditure listing, the individual expenditures. We took that out. So it's just a kind of an attachment on the back. If we do that one, last year we didn't really need that section because we did most of our grants were hotel sponsorship based, so we didn't really need that eligible expenditure list. We just attached the budget as part of the application. So that was listed in two different places in the contract last year in the grant agreement. So we removed one of them, so it simplified a little bit. That was the main change, I think. So, but I think it's just if anybody wants to take a look at that and has any questions, certainly just let me know.
Any of the commissioners have any questions or? All right. And normally I'd give a little bit more time of empty space just in case somebody was hesitating, but just commissioner members, if you have questions or anything, just jump right in since we have a packed agenda. So I'll keep moving on. Consideration of possible action and allocation of room tax funds for 2026, currently estimated at $406,000. Neil, I don't know, I know again in the packet you provided this, but if you wanted to make any additional comments on the funding situation.
Yeah, I'll just very, very quickly go through these slides here for purposes of anybody watching online. So essentially, room tax funds, just a quick recap of 2025. We started, overall collection was 576. That means 70% goes to the tourism commission at 403,000. City retains 172. It goes to our general fund. Basically gets us the fund balance. We had almost $300,000. So the total available funds for 25 was $702,000. We had $696,000 of expenses that was broken out by the tourism entity contract, some past final closeout, some past year awards, and then 10 new awards. So then actually the year-end balance available for 26 was just over $6,000. There's something in. There we go. I think that's probably Aaron.
Yeah, my apologies. I was having problems with the link. I had to call in.
Oh, no problem. Okay. So we got you though, Aaron. Thanks. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. We'll just have to do it this way.
Okay, good deal. So these were the specific actual expenditures that went out last year. That's the breakdown of the 696, just for if anybody's interested in those. Certainly if we go and review anyone, you want to see what folks had last year. This is it again in your packet for last year. So the important of going forward this year, we're estimating again 174 going to general fund, around $400,000 is the estimate. We'll know that for sure by the end in the next couple of week or two. We'll actually get that amount from the state. We'll know exactly what that number is. Right now, it could be a little higher, could be a little lower. We're assuming 400,000, pretty much flat from last year. Our fund balance carried forward. Summary of our requests that we've got, the tourism entity contract, which again, a request from MESMA is in your packet, $297,000. The individual applications we've got here to date are summarized here. We'll go through those shortly. Obviously, those total amounts already exceed the amount of budget that we have available to fund those things. And we also have certainly anticipating applications from the Community Festival, Memorial Day Parade, and probably MG things going forward in 2027. So just wanted to certainly just use that to set the table, I guess, for whatever the commission wishes to discuss on that. So any questions on funding here?
Neil, did you want to go through your other slides as well, or?
Just, oh, here, I guess that's on the left. This might add one more here. I guess that's true. Oh, there's the mayor popping in. So obviously, certainly the commission is going to be in a tough position to kind of make some reductions and requests. Everything won't be able to be funded as requested. So we kind of discussed some ideas on how that might happen. So we talked about, I think the commission has discussed previously having different funds level for nonprofit or versus for-profit applicants, having different funding levels for more locally driven projects versus folks who are not from Monona, establishing minimum overnight stays. We talked about, obviously there's the tourism entity account is contract is certainly a significant funding budget. When that certainly commission may wish to discuss that. Can allocate funds on a first come first served basis, and when we're out, we're out. You could have 50, some sort of local matching requirement to these funds. Establishing caps are based on the number of times you can apply for funding. We actually talked about even just reducing the number of application dates, just having 2 instead of 4 this year. Requiring applicants to coordinate their media advertising through MESBA as our tourism entity and contribute financially to that effort and leveraging money with MESBA's investment, which I think is probably a good idea no matter which way we go. Evaluating marketing costs as the only eligible expenditures to be considered, not really no operational funding, and kind of really requiring some detail in terms of other funds allocated for these individual projects. So these are all possibilities that the commission may wish to consider as you kind of go forward and evaluate these applications this year, because unfortunately we will not be able to fund them all at one shot. And Christine has her hand up. Andy, if you want to.
Christine?
I think Terry's trying to get in. I can't find the chat.
On the call.
Hold on, let me
Did you
see
say?
here.
Not right now.
I don't see anybody in the waiting room right now. Oh, there's Aaron trying to get in. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to switch it to Zoom.
Okay.
I'm just manually putting in the ID because there wasn't a hyperlink.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I'll hang
Okay,
on.
so this is Terry. So what do I have to do? I have to go to Zoom?
Yeah, just take, I don't know, I can send you, maybe send you the link. Just go to Zoom and put in the meeting ID.
Okay.
Let me know when you're
Got
ready.
it.
I'll give you the meeting ID.
Okay, give me a second.
For some reason, it was originally trying to take me back to Teams. I think
I was on Teams.
I had a bunch of different links for this meeting.
It keeps adding it, keep deleting it, and it keeps adding it.
Okay.
Keeps adding it. It's always Zoom.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the Zoom link, but it's not a hyperlink, so I had to just cut and paste it.
Okay.
All good.
All right, I'm almost there.
No problem, Terry. We're good.
While we're waiting, Neil, is this list one that you created, or was this done in partnership with any other commissioner members or?
No, this is just simply for consideration for the commission to think about. Some just kind of a brainstorming ideas, because I could have just said, well, you guys get to figure it out. Good luck in terms of how to do that. I just want to at least give you some ideas on how to get, obviously, this is requests are significantly higher than the overall budget. Yeah, so this isn't just a small minor, we have to come up with a $10,000, $20,000 kind of situation. So this is literally just, again, these aren't even necessarily recommendations, Betsy.
Read your
These are just
leftovers.
ideas for you to look at. So
Ryan, you're not on mute.
Yep, if you want to make it.
Hey, Ryan.
Ryan, can you mute?
You're not on mute.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, and certainly open to other suggestions or ideas as well as these, Betsy. So.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you putting this together. I wonder what your recommendation would be, Neil, and I'd be interested in yours as well, Andy, as the chair.
I mean, there's no easy way to do it. I think in terms of figuring out, like I said, I think some of the suggestions we're trying to look at and identifying, so sort of continuing to raising the bar in terms of what the qualification to apply is certainly one to look at. Again, this was, if we look solely at hotel stays, I think that's as the commission knows, that's always a challenge in terms of just seeing how those end up getting tracked and how accurate they are, and estimates versus reality. And so that's a difficult one. It certainly is our default one that we want to use. And certainly in evaluating potential impact, it's difficult to make hard choices based solely on that. So I think some of these other ideas need to be taken a look at. I think the tough thing the commission is going to need to face this year is probably, balancing. Obviously, there's adequate quality services that are in that tourism contract that NESBA provides for us as our tourism entity. Again, they've done a nice job of profiling out exactly what they're being recorded. Whoops. Okay. In terms of this, what the actual their impact and the service they provide for that dollar figure are, that request alone would be 3/4 of our budget. And so I think the commission needs to decide, I guess, in terms of the marketing value versus the event support value, in terms of where they want to find that balance. I think that's really going to be, that's really the crux, I think, of what needs to be discussed today. And I don't know if Andy's got his.
Yeah, I mean, not to harp on it. I think that's where my head is as well, is just, if you look at the statute, it's getting heads in beds. So how do we, how do we support the most events in the best way to get heads in beds? And then additionally, thinking about the marketing and advertising piece of it. And so those are kind of the two lenses that I provide, or that I'm kind of looking at, as far as knowing that we're going to have to make cuts on some of these so that we do have some left over and have a balance at the end of the day, because there will be, more applications coming in. So I would say I'd probably agree with where Neil's head is at as well. But certainly there's a lot of other factors. I mean, those that are listed, you also think about the duration, longevity, a one-day event compared to a multi-day event. What does that mean as far as kind of marketing and funding? So I think that's why we have all of us uniquely positioned here to kind of provide all of those different insights.
Does Destination Monona have other revenue sources, or is this the entirety of their budget?
So before we hit into that, because we'll give them kind of 10 minutes, we kind of, I think Neil sent it all out, just kind of allotment of time. They'll be the first up for consideration just because they are our tourism entity. And they kind of cover a lot that might also blend in with some of these other conversations. If that's okay, Betsy.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm curious, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'm wondering if we could maybe establish some baselines that as a commission going forward, or just for this meeting. So one thing he mentioned is, should we focus on just funding marketing over anything else? Is that sort of what's supposed to be the basis of it? Now, I know a lot of these applications, it does seem like it's really the thing funding putting on an event. So is that something we need to consider, but even if an event won't happen without the funding?
I don't know if you're looking for me to answer it, but yeah, I mean,
anybody.
Those are all pieces of consideration. I mean, I'll just be, transparent that when I made my notes, I kind of looked at every event. What is their marketing? What is some, sort of operations, knowing that, to execute anything, you need some staff time, right?
Right.
And so, I kind of looked at those two lenses and tried to add them all up, and I didn't add up the total of it. So that's what I was kind of doing right now, of what that looked like. But that's kind of how, when I was like, if I'm going to take a first pass at this, knowing we don't have enough money to approve everybody at 100%, those were kind of my first two pieces of it. Was marketing number one, and then maybe not the full operations, but what can we supply for operations side of things.
Okay. And then given our limited time and us really having to make some pretty hard decisions, Neil, is it possible that, if we really just don't feel confident either way on an application because of some unanswered questions, or maybe we want them to take a stab at it, is that something we can do?
Yes. I'm going to answer
Okay.
for him. Yes. I mean, while I would love, and I'm sure they would, love all these organizations to get their answer today, if there is
Right.
something that's just a sticking point, I don't want to rush through things and make uh, a rush decision, we'll say.
Hmm.
I want to make sure we have all the pieces here.
I agree with Colleen. I think there needs to be a deeper dive into these applications so we can take a look at line items. It's too much information and to have to make hard decisions right now. I'd second that. We're going to need a little more time to review.
Particularly
Well,
given that some of the key events that the city hosts are upcoming and not presented here. So
Hmm.
we would anticipate that the commission would fund some of those other events, and maybe we need to see all applications in one sitting.
okay. I mean, there are line items of the budgets, so hopefully everybody was able to take a look at the budgets and kind of go line by line
I'm talking about other events, the
that aren't
Canopy
applied yet.
Festival and the 4th of July that the commission usually funds to support, but we haven't, those applications aren't in yet. So, I mean, we might need to look at a whole year basis at this point instead of this first round only.
My gut, this obviously I'm just one of five. My gut reaction is we've kind of this train is in motion. And if we wanted to change the cycles, we probably should have done that in the fall so that applicants knew they needed to get it in. Um, I don't know if we can, I mean, I know for these organizations, we can't stall until, we get them all in because we don't know what we don't know. I mean, maybe they will apply, maybe they won't apply, maybe there will be new organizations or new events that kind of pop up. So I, for one, am ready to, kind of tackle these, but, that's just one of five. So, um, I would feel bad for the organizations to walk away from here and not knowing anything today.
I mean, I guess certainly Andy, from staff, so what if we get heard presentations from everybody today, and we wanted to get another one, if everybody was available, we could try to do another one as quick as possible next week. But I still think we need to kind of get through some things today. Certainly to at least get a chance to the applicants. I think we've got everybody has applicants, representatives are here, so certainly should take advantage of having them here and getting some feedback from them. Absolutely.
Then
For
I
sure.
think that if I can, I think I'm agreeing with Colleen, if I heard you right, Colleen, in that it makes sense. Folks are here. Let's hear from them. Let's ask our questions. But it seems like the commission wouldn't be able to decide as we have in years past on the spot. I think there's a deeper dive on setting standards for how we are going to make these decisions this year and maybe future years when there's more requests than there are funds.
I'm not saying we couldn't make decisions today, but just that based on, again, that we're dealing with much larger requests than we have funds for, we might not be able to. That's all. But yeah.
So yeah,
Sorry, I don't have anything else.
no, it's okay. Okay. From my perspective is we need to kind of continue with the cycles that we have set up and make the decisions that we best can. And Neil's point, certainly taking advantage of those that are here, hear the presentations, and maybe we don't make a decision after we hear a presentation, but we kind of go through and hear everything and then, see what time is left afterwards. But
see heads nodding, Andy.
yeah, but with the intent that if we don't make decisions today, we're meeting next week and we need to meet and have quorum next week. Because that's been our challenge. Because we tried to get an October meeting and it never panned out.
That makes sense to me.
Okay. All right. So we will, okay. With all of that, we'll move forward and we will first, with the consideration possible action of the tourism entity contract with MESBA and Discover Monona. I know I can't see everybody on here, but I saw Christine and
Terry and Laura, I think are on. All three
Okay.
are on.
All right.
Yep.
So we will start with that and give them time to, again, present.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thanks for making time for us today.
Christine, everybody has your report. Your report is in the packet, so they should have it. So.
Okay. This was obviously a very long report because I was under the assumption per our contract that I was actually going to give the year-long, our year-end update as well. So that's what this is. We just kind of went through the demographics of what we were able to find out. We had a software system last year that was able to track a lot of data for us. So we were able to see where people were coming from, how many additional nights and overnight stays from last year versus 2024. So all of that is in the report. I can go over it one by one if you want, but in the interest of time, you all have it. I did actually pull out a few individual events as well to show you hotel stays in 2025 versus 2024. So that's in there. And then the last part of it is our proposal for this year and what we want to do. And just right off the top of the bat, I just want to say the ad spending and the money that you give us, just for example, last year, the money that we spent on, there are two chunks of money that we give to Destination Madison. One of it, 19% of it went for anything that would cover Destination or Discover Monona or MESBA. We put both of them together. That includes like Make Music Days and things like that. 27% came out of another budget. And out of the Fox 47 bucket of money, 7% went for our events. So out of the money that you give us, very little actually goes to support our events. And we fundraise and ask for sponsorships and everything for all of our organizational, administrative, all the costs for our events. We don't take any of the money that you give us to run our events. I just want to get that out there right now. So as far as what we're asking for, last year we asked for $95,000 for staff and administration. This year we're only asking for $86,000. Last year you gave us $30,000 for the tourism entity. We're only asking for $20,000 this year. The office space, we didn't have office space, so we still have that in the bank. The $8,000 is because we are actually anticipating getting an office this year, but we will have to furnish it, and as part of the agreement, we'll have to put in like magazine racks and things like that. So that's where the $8,000 is coming from. The continuation of the music library and the media library, that's with the community media people. And we also want to use a professional photographer as well for some pictures, just because both Will and Brennan, it's difficult to get them on the weekends at times, and that's when a lot of events are taking place in town. So we need to pay someone to cover those events for us so that we can have them for the guide and website and things like that. So that did go up $4,000 for that reason. The hosting of the website and the upgrades that we do every year, that stayed the same. The year-long media campaign, we did up that a little bit because halfway in the year, we took some money out of a different bucket and signed an agreement with Sherpa, which is an online, they help us with social media, basically. We contract with them and they will help us get influencers to come in and do independent tours of the city and visit places and things like that. And so anyway, that's to help us promote online through Instagram, Facebook. I think also, what's the other one, Laura?
On the website, there's adventure packages in Monona that people can check out as well through local businesses and recreational opportunities.
And we cover all businesses, not just MESBA members. In fact, actually not very many of them are MESBA members. But anyway, so there's that. So we upped that from 65 last year to 75 this year. The Monona Guide is staying the same. And then the last two are long-term development and the permanent installations. The long-term development, we've been working with Parks and Rec, and that would include expanding B-Cycle and possibly taking over their portion of the responsibility of B-Cycle, some of the B-Cycle stations. They're having a hard time getting some of the businesses to pay them back for the sponsorships with those. So if we took them over, it would just kind of help them out a little bit. And the other is to do a 50-50 split on the cost of installing a more permanent kayak and paddleboard rental station that's done on your phone. And then with that, it would be a 50-50, whatever's made out of it, we would split it 50-50 as well. So we get a little bit of income on that. And then the permanent installations, we did ask for this last year as well. This would just kind of help cover some of the costs if we were able to, say, after the festival's over and we wanted to take over some of the statues, we could put those along the bike trail or around the city. It would help cover installation, insurance for them, you know, little things like that. So that's what that last 15,000 is for.
Commissioners, what questions do you have for Christine or the others?
I have a couple questions. And I want to say up top, I think you do a great job. And of course, we've seen we have seen return for the great work you've done, but we're talking about 75% of our entire budget here. And I do think and maybe other commissioners would disagree with me, but I don't think we can fund this in full. And I think we have to be really selective about what you absolutely need from us and what, so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking like, you know, the Monona Guide is great. How many beds and heads is it doing for $25,000? That website maintenance and hosting seems quite expensive for it's a great website, but it's pretty lean. And then things like the infrastructure stuff, is that the most appropriate use for tourism dollars? These are things I'm wondering if we could consider, and then what you think you would really need for you to do the work you can while we're still being fair to all the other applicants.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone else has any, sorry.
The one thing I'm just going to add to that was, you know, tourism entity fee, if you can provide like, what is that, since tourism entity doesn't necessarily come with money?
That was something you all gave us last year. So we put that in there, and that would just be to kind of cover. So this year, one of the reasons that went down is we were pretty lean on actually what we included as far as like wages and everything. The entity fee would just help us cover some of the actual paper, printing, all that kind of stuff. We don't include that anywhere in here. So all of that kind of stuff actually comes out of
that was for administrative support, I think, Andy, just in terms of general charges. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think my original question still stands, which is helping us to understand your other revenue sources.
Mm-hmm. So we are your tourism entity by law. So last year we wanted to maybe cost share with the community organizations and do something like that for these promotions and the campaign, the media campaign. But I was kind of under the impression that if we were given this money that we shouldn't do that. So we've provided all of the stuff for free for everyone. So we haven't had any revenue. The one revenue that we were kind of looking at would be, you know, possibly something with B-Cycle. Maybe there'd be some way if we paid for the actual stations, we could get some sort of a kickback and sponsorships if people wanted to put their logos on bikes, for example, and then we get the 50-50 on the rental kiosks. So we're working on finding ways of actually bringing in revenue, but so far we have been providing all these services for free. And that's something we have to look at. I mean, it's totally understandable. I understand there's not a lot of money in here, but then we need to start charging the other organizations because we spend a lot of money and we do it for free.
Yeah. So just for the sake
And you get at least 20 hours of my time every week for free because my hours aren't included in here.
So what is funding your hours, Christine?
MESBA.
Okay.
Membership dues, sponsorships that I go out for.
Yeah. Just for the sake of keeping conversation going, love that you, and I think we need to reiterate, I forget if it was in the application, that you do keep these funds separate. So it's not like a commingled with MESBA and the organization. So appreciate that. Certainly love all of the details and the geocaching and all of that stuff that went into your reporting. I look at, and it's interesting to have that conversation about, charging organizations, your event support and your community. I think you termed it like activations. That section, I think, was, to me, kind of to the heart of the purpose of the tourism entity, right? Is working with and partnering and trying to really advocate and promote and advance that. So I appreciate kind of all of that. So actually, I have a question and then I have a comment and then I'll be quiet for a while. Is one, I noticed in the application it asked for that longevity commitment, not necessarily in dollars, because like if another pandemic comes, we just have zero money. But that 5 to 10 years. So my question comes into, is this to the commissioners, like, is that something that we can consider? I think so. Christine, I'll give you some time once I be quiet, like to illustrate like why that's important to have that 5 to 10-year commitment. Again, without the specific dollar amount. But when I look at your budget and kind of just the realistic nature of what we can, or in my mind, kind of should be, I look at the media campaign and I think that's worthwhile. Certainly some of the staffing and administration piece of it, because back to my point of, in order to do all this, you need that to execute. Even the tourism entity and putting something into that at an amount. Website, I do agree with Colleen's. That seems extreme. I mean, that's like building a new website kind of cost. So maybe a little bit more background on why it's 15,000, and then the Monona guide maybe to a lesser extent. So when I do all of that in the dollars that I'm looking at, that would be anywhere from 125,000 to $165,000, depending on like where you land and all that. So when I kind of look at this and what we, at least in this first go should be, at least funding at maybe a minimum, that's where I kind of have landed.
Yeah, and I have to say that I'm not sure that it's the commissioner's job to like a la carte this. I would rather have us have a policy on a percentage, for example, of the annual revenue that comes into the commission, and then Christine and Laura can do what they can, whatever they deem is prioritization. It's like, I don't know if, like, it feels like we're stepping into a zone that's not ours. I feel like we can give funds and they can decide how to allocate.
Yep. I agree. I'm just taking like my decision making off this budget. And then if they don't want to spend 75 for their media, they can reallocate it somewhere else. Or, if they find whatever, I was just looking at the information that we have and trying to make a decision. But yeah, I mean, we don't have that reporting where they come back to us and say, this is exactly the line.
For the record,
You
that's
do.
what we would like, and that's what we proposed last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's valuable for the commission to know where the money goes and what it's spent on. But if it comes down to we can't fund this in its entirety, I don't think we need to be the deciders on which pieces of this gets done or not.
I think these pieces just help us make that decision.
Yeah, yeah.
And we can still do that, so the website, because of the way the website was built before Laura, I got here. It's a little convoluted. It actually has like 2 themes built on top of each other. And so if we want to change certain things, we do have to call in professional help. So we do have a like $5,000 to $7,000 that we budget in there every year in case we have to do that, because if anyone's ever called anyone for professional help, it's like $300 an hour to have them do anything. And then we do have, like the hosting and all of that kind of stuff, and the because we do take money through it and stuff like that, we have extra security features and that kind of stuff on there as well. But like you said, if we have to work with less, then we just have to kind of streamline and do what we can with that. The Monona Guide, we mail out 10,000 and then have the other 3,000 available around town. So one way to do that is to cut down how many we mail out, or print in general.
How is it decided who you mail them to currently?
By zip code.
Okay.
So we actually go the Monona. Actually, I think I just give them the Monona zip code and they go 10,000 homes, and then they go to like the next round out. So the printer mails them directly for us. And I'm sorry, what was the other one that you asked about?
Oh, the 5 to 10 year kind of commitment.
Oh, yes. So the reason we put that in there, and above anything else, we really, really, really would appreciate that. We've been working with Aaron and the hotels and Destination Madison and their sports division. These RFPs that we're trying to bid on are 2 and 3 years out. And it's really difficult to do that when we don't have any proof that we are even going to be in existence in 2 and 3 years. So in order to have some legitimacy, we really, really do need to have some sort of a contract with the city that's more than 1 year.
Thanks.
And would that contract be with the Tourism Commission or with the city itself?
By law, the city needs to have a tourism entity on record. We have been your tourism entity for I don't even know how long, since before I got here.
Start, yeah, 2016.
So every year we are your tourism entity, and every year it gets renewed. I don't know if you have anyone else that you'd consider, but
no, I'm not asking about that.
Year on year.
Who would sign the contract? The Tourism Commission?
It would be us,
or
yeah.
the city?
Tourism entity.
Okay.
I'm still looking for some clarification on this too. I guess I'm just confused, and maybe you can shed some light. Does the statute about the Tourism Commission dictate the percentage of funds that has to be given to the tourism entity?
No,
it does not. Okay.
No.
It's allocated there's the general fund and to the commission. Then the commission decides what to do with its allocation.
I understand. Okay.
So, and that includes
the 70% is to the commission, not necessarily to the tourism entity.
Correct.
Okay.
And
sorry.
One thing that we'd like to do going forward, maybe this year, obviously it's not a good year, but is to come up with some sort of a long-term plan, because part of the wording in the contract is that you can spend these tourism dollars on things like kiosks and improving the city for the use of transitory visitors. But that requires some sort of a long-range strategy and a long-range plan from from the commissioners. So, like last year when you had all those funds, it possibly would have been a good idea to think about long-term strategy and save some of those in reserve. But, going forward, there are some things that would help take some of the onus off Parks and Rec and ultimately taxpayer dollars. And that can be done. You can save the city some money with this money, because it is for improving the city and it is for bringing in tourism. And that is legal on the contract.
Absolutely. Yep.
Terry, did you have something?
All right. Seeing that we have about 17 minutes or yeah, 17 minutes left. Any other questions for Discover Monona? All right. I'm going to go with the theory that we just want to get everybody's presentations in at this point. So we will just go down in order with the Harry White Horse International Wood Sculpture Festival.
Stacy and Jean, are you still here?
Yep, there you are. Oh, they might be frozen.
Oh,
All right. We're just going to jump ahead and go to Lake Monona 20K.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very
oh,
much.
there she is. There she is. We got her. Stacy's on. Stacy and Jean are here. Looks like they're definitely having some internet challenges here. Everybody else still moving?
Okay. We're gonna, again, with the sake of time, sorry, we're gonna go to Lake Monona 20K.
Shoot.
All right, can you guys hear and see me?
Yep, we got you, Ryan. Yep.
Excellent. Thanks for having me again. I think honestly our report hopefully says a lot for this, so I won't take a whole lot of time, but first of all, thank you. The last 2 years, I think we've shown with the assist you have given us, we have taken the event to the next level. We spend 100% of it on marketing dollars, so it's going into our social media campaigns with a specific focus on getting people from outside of the state. Right now, we are already spending some of that money, hoping to get some money from you guys. We have 17 states represented. We just started pushing big time with a focus on Minnesota this year. And Minnesota is now the second largest state coming in behind Illinois. So the dollars are working. The process is really good. We do have a fairly accurate tracking system to show we are putting heads in beds. We have a survey that goes out afterwards. About 30% of the people answer our survey, which we can then extrapolate to get the numbers that we have showing how many nights are used. So we like to use that kind of as evidence that it's working. The only thing we can't do unless the hotels help with us, we try and get the help from the hotels, is say exactly what hotels they would be staying in. Other than that, our numbers currently are showing about a 15% increase from last year to this year again, and we are still continuing to build out the post-race party and expo with food trucks and all the fun to be had in Monona.
Any questions for Ryan? Nope. Appreciate all the details. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, guys.
Wisconsin Lakeside Half Marathon.
Okay, we're here.
If you had anything you wanted to share additionally, assume everybody has read your application, but if there was any other additional color you wanted to provide, feel free.
Yeah, no, I mean this year we're scaling down from a full marathon to a half marathon because of the construction along John Nolan, and the bike path won't necessarily be available for our event. So our certified course will not be usable this year. So that's the only uncertainty that we have is if we're going to lose people because we don't have the full marathon, or if we're going to gain more people because the majority of people run half marathons and 5Ks. Right now, our numbers are higher than they were a year ago on registration. So hopefully that trend keeps up.
Any questions for them? All right. Aldo Leopold Nature Center.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. That's me. And Jean, I want to say you guys just keep freezing. So I'm not sure if you want to try calling in with your phone or something like that. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Lizzie. I don't think I've met most of you, so I'm new at Aldo Leopold Nature Center, kind of taking over for both Kara Erickson and Kelly Van Egren. So thank you so much for the past support of this commission. This year, we are requesting support for 3 categories. One is our weddings and private event rentals. Those about 50% of the guests that come in for weddings are staying in local hotels. So we definitely know that it's bringing a lot of tourism to the area. We're also asking for funding for our like our signature public events. So that includes Candlelight Hike, Maple Sugar Festival, Fall Festival, and our holiday market. Those may not be generating hotel stays as much, but they are encouraging tourism from, within Dane County and the surrounding counties. And when people come in for those things, they're also staying and spending money at local Monona businesses. We're also starting a new event series this year. We're calling it Camp Aldo Evenings. So Kara, when she was at Aldo Leopold Nature Center, did a really great job with an event called Camp Aldo, or Adult Summer Camp. And we want to try to continue to capture that audience of young adults, or younger adults, but make it a little bit more low key and less of a lift for staff. So if you can think of like the Old Brick Beer Garden, that kind of vibe, we're looking to recreate that at Aldo Leopold Nature Center, 3 evenings during the summer. It's really anyone's welcome. It's marketed, we're going to be marketing more towards kind of the younger professional crowd. But one thing that we can offer that's unique is we can offer childcare. I've heard from parents who want to have fun and have a drink, but are really frustrated that they have to then find a babysitter. They'll be able to bring their children, and we'll be able to watch them in our preschool playground or inside the building if necessary. So we're asking for funding for marketing and promotion. We're also asking for a refresh on the Trailside backpacks, which this commission started. They paid for. We're just needing to replace some parts of them. We're also looking to pay our staff who are directly involved in the events. So that includes 50% of the salary for our event coordinator. Last year we asked for her full salary, and then the feedback was that the commission would rather not do that whole thing. So we're only asking for 50%. And then also for servers and others. And I have a quote from a Google review. The Aldo Leopold Nature Center is a beautiful venue with an incredibly attentive professional events team. The scenery at ALNC is truly serene and is the perfect place to get married for all nature lovers out there. So, funding this proposal is going to bring that economic benefit to hotels in the area, especially from our weddings. But it's also just a great benefit for local people in Monona who get to have these free, public, accessible events that are very popular. And then we also bring a lot of people from outside of Monona. And these events and this new series are going to continue to strengthen Monona's reputation as a hidden gem within Dane County. So thank you for considering our request. Do you have any questions?
I just have a question. And first of all, thank you. As a hotel manager, I love Aldo Leopold, as everyone that knows. It's been a great partnership, and I can attest to definitely a lot of groups and a lot of people staying at hotels overnight, and that will continue. I guess my question is, with the funding for the private events, with weddings and whatnot, wouldn't that be a revenue stream instead of something that would have to be asked for public funds? Wouldn't that actually make money for the nature center?
We bring in revenue, but I think that it doesn't cover all of our expenses that are associated with it. So we need to fundraise.
I gotcha. Okay.
Do you want some of the percentages of things that we're asking for? Or?
No, I mean, what's in your application is great. I just was under the assumption I would think that hosting private events like that would make money and not be running at a deficit.
Yeah. Also a reminder that we are a nonprofit. And so any revenue that we may generate, whether it's from program fees for, our kids' programs or from wedding rentals, that is going into, we're reinvesting that in our programs. And
into everything.
Our real mission is not to generate, get people here for hotels, although we love it. It's really to connect children and nature.
Sure. Okay.
Rachel, I think you had your hand raised.
I had the same question. I just assumed that weddings would more than pay for the staff time and any other costs associated with. But also understanding that that is probably one of the most common reasons people are using hotels because of Aldo.
Yeah.
Any additional questions for Aldo? All right. We will move on to Friends of San Damiano.
All right. Hello, everyone. Yes, Aldo Leopold is probably the most hot heads in beds right now, but San Damiano is poised to change that. We
How would
are
you
building.
know?
How would I know? We are very much building a destination on Lake Monona at San Damiano, which is slated to hopefully be the premier destination in Monona. What I have included in my request this year from the Monona Tourism Commission is an exciting new partnership, which the details are still being squared between Friends of San Damiano and the Friends of WVMO. Some of you may have known or have visited the beer gardens at San Damiano last year. This year, we are planning to partner with WVMO to bring in larger acts, bringing in regional acts such as them Cooley Boys out of La Crosse or the Cashbox Kings out of Chicago. There's a few other folks we're talking about to really make our 3 concerts on the shore in line, to kind of put them in line with the East Side Festivals. One day event that brings in regional acts. We have maybe a local band open for the larger act, have beer sold on site, bring in the Madison Children's Museum, because if you've been to San Damiano, there's not a lot for kids to do. And maybe the Aldo Leopold Nature Center. But I was thinking about the Madison Children's Museum because they have that traveling circus, but make these events really a Thursday night celebration once a month on the shores of Lake Monona, which is why they're called Concerts on the Shore. That is the largest piece that I've requested funds for. Funds would cover both the act itself. So regional bands have larger price tags. We're looking at bands with $7,000 to $8,000 price tags. From discussions I've had with folks who've put on these sorts of shows, I should expect about the same in production costs. So 7 to 8, the band costs about 7 to 8,000. I should expect the production, we're talking stage, music, lights, to cost 7 to 8 as well. These would be free events, but we would want to market them widely and broadly so that we can really showcase the destination value at San Damiano. I have also asked for funding to help cover our other events that we hold on site. 2026 is going to very much be a year of activation of our property. We've stepped in that direction last year, but we're looking to step up the daily experience. And one way that we're planning to do that is we know that folks use the property or come to the property at sunset. And so we want to build out a sunset happy hour time. We're planning April through October this first year, probably one Sunday a month, several hours, have a volunteer or a staff person set out lawn games that will be free for folks to use, contract with the local food carts to bring food and beverage on site, and just really create a community experience at San Damiano Park, bringing people and inviting people to the property. And we're also planning a new fundraiser this year in the spring lawn games event. It's going to be a family-friendly croquet tournament. And so we do have some requests for marketing costs there, as well as some operational costs in terms of procuring the croquet sets and other materials we'll need. In addition, I did include some administrative costs. We are members of both MESBA and Discover Monona, but also we are building partnerships with Destination Madison and other program partners across the lake, because not only are we building a Monona destination, we're also building a Lake Monona, Dane County destination. And I want the commission to know that working with partners across the lake is very much on the forefront of our plan. We're talking with Madison Lakeway Partners, which is the group that's redoing John Nolan Drive, about how we can work with them to activate Lake Monona and create a destination here. And we're also working with Destination Madison and Down Madison Inc. to think about like how folks get from Monona to downtown? Is there another route that they might be able to take in the future if partnerships are built properly? So we are very much thinking about not only our role as a Monona destination, but our role in the community as a Lake Monona, Greater Madison, Dane County destination. In addition, I do want to just share really quickly, because I know we are running out of time, that several folks call know that we are also slated to make some big recommendations to the city this year, which will include phase one of realizing the master plan, which was put together by residents of Monona, the Eastside Madison, and Greater Dane County communities. It was put together with their feedback when the city of Monona purchased the property. And some of those recommendations in phase one of our plan will include water access to the property. So how do we create some sort of pier system? Also parking, there's some limited parking on site, as I'm sure many of you know, and amenities in terms of bathroom facilities, because there's none of that on site. And while I'm not asking for that money from the commission here, I think it's important to note that our organization, our small but mighty organization, is focused on that to build out this destination, and support from the Monona Tourism Commission would be catalytic in launching our campaign forward and having the confidence of the Monona Tourism Commission in the destination that we're building. Finally, I know rentals are important. We are asking for a small chunk of money to help us build out rentals, which is difficult to do right now, given the limited amenities on site, but we're finding ways to work around that. So I don't want that to get lost in that weddings, Aaron, will very much be part of our plan moving forward, getting those ceremonies on site. So ceremonies and receptions.
Any questions for Kara?
Just real quick, assuming just with the limited resources right now, there are no events currently scheduled for 2026 private rental events?
We have, so actually no Harry Whitehorse. I've been working with them. They are a rental event. So please think about their application in that sense. And also, no, in terms of the ceremonies that have come in, we have had a few inquiries. There's folks that are interested, but because we have limited amenities right now, and because we don't have a liquor license, which the laws for that changed in January of this year, it's difficult for us to host a full reception at this time. So we are building towards that, most definitely. I don't expect our first wedding receptions to be until 2027. But we're building in ways to rent out the site in terms of organizations coming in, like the Harry Whitehorse Festival, or if anyone else is interested, I'm happy to talk to them further. But that's what we're building out in 2026 is our rentals program.
Any other questions? All right, we will go back up to Harry Whitehorse.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
There we go. Yes, sir. We got you guys. There we go.
I am so sorry. We're having so many issues here, but thanks for considering our request.
And thank you for the plug, Kara.
Yeah, thank you, Kara. As I think most of you know, we have a 9-day festival coming up. You know, our goal is to have an internationally.
Oh no.
Getting stuck again. Oh shoot, we lost our screen too.
It was going so well.
It sounded, yes, it sounded perfect.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
There you go.
How about,
sorry,
are we back?
Yes.
I do have to jump real quick, but I assume we'll schedule something for next week, and then I'll just catch the follow-up on the recording.
Awesome. Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel. Hey, Stacy, can you turn your camera off? See if she can't hear us probably right now.
And yeah, I try. Okay.
There we go.
Hopefully this is going to help.
That hopefully helps. Yeah.
All right. So, as you all know, did you hear anything that I said? Just curious.
No.
I think you probably restart, Stacy. We got, but it sounds like you're coming through good now, though. Or maybe not.
Okay. What's that? Oh, did you lose me again?
We got you now.
Oh, I'm not sure what to do to make this better.
If we called you on the phone, could that get recorded?
Would that be a better option? Okay.
There should be on the Zoom meeting invite, I think there's or right on the agenda, I think there's a phone number you can call in to, guys.
Okay.
Should I go get my phone?
No need.
I can
it's
read
not-
you the number if you need it.
Okay, hold on one second.
Let me know when you're ready.
I think Laura just sent it to me. Did you, Laura? Because you're such an awesome human being.
Laura saved me earlier too, so thank you.
Thank you.
And Ryan, feel free to drop off if you want. I don't think any decisions are going to be made today. We're gonna schedule a meeting.
Well, no, I
next
don't see a
week.
phone number.
Sounds
see an
good.
ID
Thank
number.
you, guys.
If you can hear me, Stacy, I can read it to you, and then I can give you the meeting ID. That's also pretty long.
Shoot. Who knows them? Let's see. Oh, she's in the waiting room.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get her back in here. All right, Stacy, we got you back in.
You have not entered any number.
Oh, she's
Can you
in.
hear us now?
I got you. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, wouldn't let me do both. And I was on the Zoom, so.
I think we got you now, Stacy. And I think you sounded. I think we got you. So.
Okay. So if not all of you, most of you.
Oh, their connection is just not good.
You know, we have a 9-day festival. Shoot.
What's the phone number?
The phone number is.
We can hear you
312
now.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. 626-6799. Just in case, because. Yeah.
Enter your meeting ID.
No, here's the meeting ID number right here, right there. Oops.
Say the number again.
It's right here. Okay. While Jean is working on that, in case we lose you again, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Oh no, I've completely lost track, you guys. I'm so sorry. So as you all know, we have a 9-day festival.
I think she should just not say the words 9-day festival.
was gonna
That's
say.
like the clincher
That's right.
shuts it down every time.
Yeah. Shoot. Well, I guess if we have questions for them, Andy, should we just send them and when we reschedule and just bring them back to that meeting and just make sure we get a
That
better connection?
we're planning on being from. Did you lose me again?
Oh yeah, we consistently lose you after 9-day festival. And maybe right
Yeah.
now.
I think we just gotta. We'll just have to bring them
Well,
back.
now you said it.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Oh my gosh. Can you hear me now? Let me try. Can you hear me? I'm gonna
Yep.
try one more.
Welcome to Zoom.
Yeah.
Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
That's
All right.
easy.
we can hear you now. Or
She's
not.
finishing. Yeah, let's see what she's gonna fit. I think give her one more shot here, Andy. I think she's entering
Yeah.
on the phone number. I think.
Just someone's phone number that we can call and you can put on
Put
speaker.
it down.
You have not entered
I know,
any number.
I know.
Please re-enter your meeting
Yeah.
ID followed by pound.
We'll just follow up with Stacy. We'll follow up with you guys with specific questions, and we'll get you
Goodbye.
on first thing for next meeting.
Oh, you guys, I'm so.
That's okay. Technology is what it is. It's just the way it happens sometimes. So
So
All right.
sorry. This is to say, this is so important. Yeah. Can I try one more time?
Sure.
Okay.
Say it. Start.
Okay. I was gonna try calling, but okay. I'm not gonna say what I said before. Okay, so as you know, the festival, we planned the festival to be at San Damiano. In 2024, it was wildly successful. We got accolades from so many people and so many entities. People were very excited about it. I feel like we introduced a lot of people to San Damiano. And
Yeah, their connection's just not sticking
Yeah.
around, so.
Okay.
So,
Maybe we'll try for an in-person meeting next week.
yeah, there we go.
Commissioners, feel free to submit your questions
they
maybe to
And
Neil.
again, this year, this
can
Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah,
I'm gonna mute them right now, guys, because they're not, well, I can't.
Yeah, so if you guys have specific questions about their application, just submit them to Neil.
We'll
and
send them to them and get them in
Stacy.
advance so they can answer them, yeah.
I got a question for you guys on the commission that were here prior to my appointment. So I know they last year they had done a festival that was not the international, it was a smaller event. The year prior was the international. Is there any way you guys can share what the ask and what the funds were for 2024 so we kind of know where
Yeah,
we are for
absolutely.
2026?
Absolutely, Aaron, yeah.
Okay, that'd be helpful in kind of determining some of the line items and the total ask.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so apologies to all organizations. The commission will schedule a meeting hopefully early next week and get these hashed out. We'll reserve some of that time, obviously, in the beginning to talk as a commission, kind of what maybe criteria to go through. Again, I think we are in a place where I think we kind of have to roll with the schedule maybe of what we have, but then as we most likely will exhaust a majority of these funds, we can get a meeting on our calendars to then talk about kind of what the next cycle looks like so we can clearly articulate that to all the organizations. And we can move forward from there. So look for an email from Neil. Christine?
Is there any way, can we know about when you might have a decision on this? Because we have started to pay for some of the contracts already.
I would say by Friday of next week at the very latest. We are going to meet next week and get these hashed out.
Okay.
I'm hoping Monday or Tuesday.
And there's a possibility of us being there in person, but that would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely, Gene.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil will always be in that conference room there.
I'm here by myself today. You guys are more than welcome to come on in, so.
All right.
Neil, you're sending out a doodle? Is that?
Yep, I'll do, a doodle poll or at least an email just with a couple of dates and times. We'll probably focus on noon time again, but I may throw a couple of afternoon dates in just to double check too, just to give us the most options.
And I think we should also probably plan for at least an hour and a half. I'd rather over plan and then give time back.
Does Monday or Tuesday not work for anybody? I'm wide open.
Well, yeah, maybe we can hash this out here.
Right now, that'd be great.
Got everybody.
Get it nice and recorded.
Monday afternoon is free, although Rachel's not here.
Yeah, I could check with her.
Okay.
And this is Kara. Just to confirm, you're talking about with just the commissioners and possibly Jean and Stacy at this meeting, or do you want all of us?
Our meetings are public, so you're welcome to come and listen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd suggest you at least be available and listen in, Kara, in case anybody has any questions.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to find my calendar.
So Andy, I mean, just I guess in terms of direction, do you want staff to kind of come up with any suggestions and work with Christine on maybe like the multiple year agreement? We talked about maybe kind of coming up with like a percentage that we want to use going forward, maybe to allocate from a funding standpoint. Do you want us to come up and analyze anything with that?
I think for the immediate future, I think the multi-year agreement, not connected to dollars, for sure, if you can come to the commission with that, will, I think, utilize their application this year to come up with an allocation. And then I do want to make sure we get a meeting on, anybody can join, but definitely commissioners to talk about strategy and, if a percentage for the tourism entity, et cetera, for 2027.
Yeah.
Because my guess is by July we'll be exhausted or have otherwise allocated these funds. So we'll have time to meet as a commission.
When is the next round of applicants? What's the deadline?
April, I have to look and see exactly what we have.
April's good. That's good for now. Just so
Yeah, April.
Okay, thank you.
We're doing quarterly, Aaron. Yep.
My Tuesday is very free next week.
Okay.
So
maybe Tuesday is priority. We'll start with that one and back up a couple other plus minus dates on that one, Mondays and Wednesdays, maybe.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks for the extra time, guys. I would just like to kind of pour over these a little in greater detail before just making a rash decision, especially with the tight funds.
No, trust me, we appreciate it, Aaron, too. As staff, we appreciate it. And we knew this wasn't going to be an easy conversation.
Right,
so.
right. Yeah, I think everyone deserves a little extra time, even if it's frustrating for them.
Yeah.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
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 All those opposed? All right.
Thank you, guys. Stay
Be in
warm.
touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care.